We got to get back in there and fight, fight, fight. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess K. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 10 of Sandland. So last time our heroes were kind of driven out by the villains, by Bread, by Muniel, and yeah, it just wasn't going exceptionally well. But we found out a lot of interesting information. Like apparently Anne has got some demon in her. We don't know the exact specifications of this, but this kind of implies that her mother's got to be a demon, right? Unless her father is secretly one. I believe I mentioned this last time too. It's like we don't entirely know if demons can take disguises like that, like full human disguises. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Um, but after being chased off, and we find out that the aquanium that they stole was fake. We also have the swimmers return and save them, and find out that Papa was an old friend of the guy from the Resistance, whose name I cannot think of right now. And on top of that, I believe Muniel was saying something about the urn he was carrying. So I think we're gonna start to find some stuff out because we've only got like a few episodes left, including this one. We've got 4. But after this, we only have 3 left, and so it's like we've got to get into like the real reveals here now. I'm very curious as to what we're gonna find out and how this is going to really start to just hype up in this last portion. I only wish this series could be longer, but I understand why it can't be as well. It's so good, but it's limited, and it's meant to be limited. The game will probably have more content to it, and I definitely still plan to get that in the future. So yeah, we'll worry about that when that comes into play. We will be doing that on the channel, though, for sure. Dog might start barking, just letting you know. But we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, so we should probably just get into this. I might wait till after this is done. Okay, so that being said, let us get this going. But before we do, I do want to remind you all that we have a lot of great content to check out on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, and on Mondays, we even do YouTube, or at least YouTube adjacent reactions. Whether they be shorts or specials or mini-series that just don't have enough episodes to be a full series. Anything that doesn't quite fit into a series or a movie reaction, go into there. And it can sometimes just be stuff off of YouTube as well. So, hey. And speaking of movie reactions, though, we do have those every Saturday and Sunday. They're pre-recorded during the week, but uploaded on the weekend. Just to make sure that every day has something going on for it in terms of reactions. And, yeah, it's just easier that way as well. We're also currently going through a couple Let's Plays on the channel. Every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we're playing through Spider-Man 2. And every Saturday, we're playing through Anno Mutationum. Spider-Man 2, if you're new to that Let's Play series, does have some audio issues in the first 9 parts, especially parts 5 through 9. But starting on part 10 and all the way through the rest of it, it should be good. It's just the first little bit of it had some issues because this is my first Let's Play using a capture card. I had to get some stuff figured out with the syncing and everything. But I think I've got it pretty much figured out at this point, luckily. And Anno Mutationum is a donation reward Let's Play for Matthew Vasquez. If you wish to know how to donate for future PS5 Let's Plays, I would suggest checking out the video on the channel titled June Double Reward Month. The video title will also mention the PS5 game stuff in it. So if you do a channel search that says June Double Reward Month PS5, you should be able to find the video easily. And yeah, it will tell you everything you need to know regarding how to donate for a PS5 Let's Play in the future. That being said, though, let us get on with this reaction and see what this episode of Sandland has in store for us. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction because, yes, we do redirect all of our reactions on this channel. I know you don't want to have to click through multiple links to get there. Luckily, it's only one. But I know it's still more work than just clicking on the video as it is. But you know how YouTube's copyright system is. It's, let's be honest, shit. So to be safe and to avoid any possible channel strikes or even worse, a channel termination, which I've dealt with before and don't want to deal with again, we have to just push the reactions off to another site. Luckily, like I said, it's only one click. It's one extra click, one link, and it takes you right to the page. And on the plus side, it does mean that everyone, yes, every single one of you gets to see the full unedited reaction completely free. No paywalls, no Patreon, and you don't even have to sync up your own copy, which I think is pretty great. Not every site can rightfully get away with that. There's very valid reasons as to why, but I do pride myself in the fact that on this channel, we're able to. And I hope that you are enjoying that part of this channel as well. So, after you watch the reaction, though, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will not only contain spoilers to the episode, but just my general thoughts on it, thoughts on the series, and maybe some stuff regarding the future of the channel and stuff as well. That stuff can always appear in the afterthoughts, so it's always worth checking out. But all of that being said, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. What a powerful, impactful episode is what I meant to say at the end there. Not like what a good episode. I mean, it is, but this episode like kind of changed a lot, and it very much carried this second half of the season so far. And I'm not by any means saying that the other episodes in this arc up to now have been bad. Not by any means. They've been great. But this episode was just like one of the best episodes of the entire series at this point. If not the best. The amount of exciting depth that it went into, the big revelations and everything, not to mention the kind of terrifying actions that the villains have taken, it really like reached a whole new level here. And at this point, it's just like with only 3 episodes left, it's going to get really, really intense and really exciting from here on out. Because at this point, our goals are not only to, stop the bad guys and free Forestland, but now we also have the mission of freeing Lilith and Lucifer. They're trapped in the urn. Everything's going wrong. It's like, yeah, a lot of shit happening. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in regards to that and how we're able to stop them. We see a lot of flashback stuff in this episode, not only showcasing Lilith for the first time and getting to know about her, but also just seeing like Longo in the serving by the king, seeing Bread having started to grow annoyed, I guess you could say, with the king's more peaceful attitudes, and we see how he and Muniel even met. We also learn in general how Muniel came to be in Forestland, why he's doing what he's doing. He's just a holier than thou angel who is um trying to get a promotion by taking out all the perceived evil on Earth. What? He's such a dumb, petty, ridiculous character, and I love that because that's what he should be. Because a part of this series, a notable point of this series, is that we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Even the first half, that was the original manga and everything, made a very big point of consistently saying, oh, Beelzebub's not as bad as you would think. Beelzebub and the fiends, the demons, are actually pretty nice, pretty good people. They're willing to help, and they do everything they can to set things right. And while Beelzebub complains about that, it's like, you think a fiend likes hearing that he's a good boy? It's like, it kind of proves a point here. And you see, even in this situation, it's like Lucifer did nothing wrong. Lilith was a good, nice queen who did nothing wrong and was just judged because she was a demon. This is just racism. Like, let's be honest here. This is just fucking racism. Or I guess speciesism. They're being discriminated against simply because they're demons. People are just not taking anything else into account. And it's not just by Muniel and Bread. It's by everyone, even just random citizens, because it's how they're raised and what they're like taught to believe. Especially by people like Muniel and Bread. They're taught to believe that demons are just bad. That demons are, troublemakers and are problems and are dangerous. But like, outside of pulling pranks, it's made clear that they're not bad people at all. They're actually just pretty decent. They just want to live their lives and, have fun and be dorky little adorable cute boys like Beelzebub. They want to play their games and have fun. Even Lucifer himself, it's like he's watching and laughing along with his TV shows. He's putting together a puzzle. It's like he's just having fun. He's not doing anything wrong. They never attack anyone unless they are attacked first. And even in the case of this, it's like they've never done anything like actively aggressive towards anyone who didn't like go after them initially. I know I just kind of repeated myself, but they've just never done anything, and it's like it's racism. And it's wild that, and I don't know if this was entirely intentional by Akira Toriyama, whether when writing the manga originally or when helping create this second half of the series prior to his passing. I don't know if the racism allegory here was intentional, but it is very on the nose. So if it's not intentional, it's just like I kind of wonder how. But also, it's like it just ended up being that way, I guess, without him necessarily trying to make it that way. I don't know. But it's very blatantly there. And the fact that it started or at least mainly propagated in these recent times by an angel, by a being of light that is supposed to be on the side of good, is hilarious to me. Because I do not know if this is intentional, but think about a lot of Christians, most Christians in real life, especially the evangelical Christians who, let's be honest, are right wingers. Think about all the shit you constantly hear them say. All the racism, all the sexism, all the homophobia and transphobia, all the just xenophobia, general bigotry everywhere you look. It's a very constant thing, and has caused more people to turn away from Christianity, especially in recent years, than the amount of people who have turned to it. Because people are getting sick of this hateful attitude, this destructive lifestyle that they are trying to push on us. It's atrocious, honestly. And they shame anyone who's not Christian. They shame anyone who's anything other than what they, kind of accept. Which basically is just, white Christian men. Let's be honest here. It's absolutely nuts. So I don't know how like prevalent this is in like social knowledge and everything around the world, but here in America it's a massive thing. And so this really kind of speaks to me as an American viewer of this, seeing like this literal angel character being portrayed in a manner that is very similar to these kinds of evangelical Christian hate preachers, the likes of like Greg Locke and whatnot. And they like, just like these Christian hate preachers, they're basically, Muniel is basically a whiny bitch who has no evidence to support his claims that these fiends, these demons are evil, but is like basically leading a cult-like mentality against them just because he can. It's wild how accurate this is to reality in a very poignant way. And there's a little something upsetting about it to watch, but at the same time, it makes it better that Muniel is very blatantly the bad guy, is very blatantly the actual evil here, and that Beelzebub is the actual, good guy, the hero of this story, alongside Sheriff Rao and Thief and Anne. It's like, it's really interesting in that regard. And this episode also kind of tackles like militarism with Commander Bread wanting to hyper militarize Forestland against Sandland because of the King and Commander Zeu at the time 10 years ago, their what they had been doing. And instead the King of Forestland is like, no, that's not okay. We have a peace with them right now. We're on good terms with them. We may have some differences. Things may be a little bad, but we have an amicable alignment with them, let's say that. And Bread was not standing for that. He was very clearly upset by the notion that we would be amicable with them. And the funny thing is, both sides have a point in regards to why Commander Bread would be a good example of either side's argument. Because Bread's argument is based on the fact that his injuries came from the fight with Sandland. The injuries that caused him to be a cyborg. He has this hatred for Sandland because of it and wants revenge. While the king is like, dude, you see what this over-militarized attitude has gotten you. Your current state is because of all of this desire for hate and revenge and war and whatnot. It's like, you need to stop. Like, you're just causing your own problems. And both sides are right in that regard. Because here's the thing. Bread has a right to be upset about being forced to become a cyborg because of injuries he sustained in war. That's understandable. But his actions go beyond the natural response. His response, being upset and being angry and being, kind of against Sandland to a degree, that's understandable. But when he takes it as far as he does, that's where it becomes a problem, because he wants to attack people who not only are innocent in the matter, but he's acting way out of line for an action, for something that took place over a decade ago. It's not reasonable. And it's just something that I think he's going to have to figure out by the end of this. Bread, unlike Muniel, I think is redeemable. I don't know if he will be redeemed, but I think he is redeemable. Because Bread, again, is someone who was hurt by war. Someone who took his anger, his emotions out of hand, and can, in turn, have them restored to a sense of, normalcy and just a good state again. And that's something I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see very much being the case. Because Muniel's the main villain either way. That much is very clear. Muniel is the petty little bitch who doesn't really have any redeeming qualities to him. So, I don't think Muniel could be redeemed at this point. It's like Adam in Has Been Hotel. It's one of those cases where, how do you redeem a character like that, who's just that far gone, that far in his own head, where he's like, even though he's an angel, he's clearly more evil than most of the demons we see. How do you redeem someone like that? You don't. It may go against Charlie's entire idea of redemption and anyone should be given a second chance and all, but Adam is one of those characters who couldn't be given a second chance. And I think, honestly, Charlie acknowledged that by the end there. I think she understood that Adam was a lost cause. But she still wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and didn't want her father to kill him and stuff. I don't think we're going to get that same kind of mercy here. I don't think Beelzebub's going to be as merciful as Charlie. Just saying. I think Muniel is going to get his ass kicked all the way back to heaven. I don't necessarily think he's going to die, but he might. I don't know. But his ass is definitely getting kicked all the way back to heaven, and he is done. As for Bread, again, I don't know. He might be imprisoned even if he is redeemed. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes. I'm also interested to see if Anne is going to unlock any other demon powers. Because we caught a small glimpse in this episode of what both Lucifer and Lilith could do. And we caught a very small glimpse of what Anne could do with, like, the sonic wave that she let out. That I compared to, like, Conqueror's hockey just for the fun of it. But I'm wondering if we're going to see any kind of other demon powers. Like, she mentioned that she does have advanced healing. But, like, we don't actually see that in action. And I'm talking more like the kind of stuff we see from Beelzebub and whatnot. That would be really interesting to see. Lilith is an absolute badass, by the way. She's a great mother. She seems like a great queen. And on top of that, like, we see her in a short, but still pretty great confrontation with Muniel. Like, when she slapped the shit out of him, that was so goddamn satisfying. It actually kind of caught me off guard, but in the best way. Like, I was so, like, excited about that. Because it was so aggressive, too. Like, it was a very aggressive slap. And believe me, I've been slapped like that, by the way. I know what that feels like. I've been slapped where I have literally fallen back onto my ass. I have been slapped that hard. I know what that's like. But imagine it being from, like, this insanely powerful and honestly pretty hot demon lady. Like, where he literally got sent flying back. It's like, there's a side of me that it's like, oh god, that would hurt like hell. Pun intended. But there's also a side of me that kind of would welcome that. Listen, she's hot, okay? I would kind of be into that. I would kind of be, like, into that. Especially, like, with my size and everything. It's like, you slap me hard enough to send me flying. It's like, goddamn. Listen, let me be horny for the hot demon lady. But yeah, this was a really good episode. It just, like, kind of elevated this so much more. And I'm very hyped to see what happens in the next and last 3 episodes. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Sandland? And before we close this out, I do real quick want to bring up once again that we have a lot of great content to check out on this channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have an awesome array of great series reactions. And on Monday, we also do YouTube, or at least YouTube adjacent reactions. Shorts, specials, mini-series that just don't have a lot of episodes at all. Anything like that that doesn't quite fit into a full series or a movie reaction. That's what this slot is for. And a lot of time it will be stuff that I find on YouTube. But sometimes not. But speaking of movie reactions, we do have those every Saturday and Sunday. They're recorded earlier in the week, but uploaded on the weekends, so that every day has something going on for it, especially the weekends having some reactions. We're also currently going through a couple Let's Plays on the channel. We have Spider-Man 2 every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Anno Mutationum every Saturday. Anno Mutationum is a donation reward Let's Play for Matthew Vasquez. If you want to know how to donate for a future PS5 Let's Play, I would definitely suggest checking out the June Double Reward Month announcement video on the channel. It also has PS5 in the title. So if you do a channel search and just search up June Double Reward Month PS5, you should find it with no problem. That being said, though, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts, but no spoilers. I really don't want to be spoiled to this series. It's my favorite thing I'm watching by far at the moment. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.